Welcome to the Peachtree Podcast. Peachtree Learning Center is a nonprofit in Middle Tennessee dedicated to training and discipling students in all the fine arts to become excellent and skilled in order to spread the kingdom of God into the world of the arts. On this podcast, we will discuss topics designed to encourage, uplift, educate, and equip people to proclaim the kingdom more deeply in their own families and communities. Welcome to today's podcast from Peachtree Learning Center. We have had a beautiful time at our medieval festival recently, and we wanted to share just a few quick reviews from students and people who participated in that with you today. I wanted to go over kind of how we approached this event. It was a special event for us because we wanted to offer an immersive experience for people who wanted to learn more about the medieval times or the Middle Ages. And this is very specific because it's not a Renaissance time frame. We're not talking about the same experiences or the same music or the same type of art and music. The medieval times are really known for a totally different style of life and style of artistic pursuit. We had several people come and help us with this. We had a very sweet friend, Paula Rogers, who we interviewed on this podcast a few weeks ago. If you didn't get to hear her interview, please go listen to that. She brought a huge cauldron, an iron cauldron, and set up and built a fire under it and had a walnut-based fabric dye in the cauldron. And everyone who wanted to participate got to fold and wrap a piece of fabric and then have it dyed there. And she actually took those home and made them into little pieces of art. She finished curing them in the way, helped the dye stay to the fabric, and brought those back for everyone to pick up. And that was such a fantastic demonstration. And then she had a whole rack of her own creations set up so people could see what natural dyes look like and how you can do those on fabric. We had in the great room a huge demonstration of dance from that time period. So we have a friend in our community, one of our moms owns a maypole, believe it or not, with 12, 30 or 40 foot ribbons coming down from the top. And this almost touched the ceiling of our great room. And she played a medieval piece, and 12 people at a time learned how to weave a weaving of those ribbons around the top of the maypole. It was beautiful. We've also talked to John Almaguer from Almaguer Glass, based in Asheville, North Carolina. He came and did some videos of his work, showed how he puts pieces in the fire to shape them. And then he had examples of different types of glass work there. And that was beautiful. He's actually apprenticed with a family out of Italy that had been blowing glass since the 900s. So that was a very authentic way to learn about that. We had an apothecary table set up with lots of herbs and samples. You could see what people from that time period used to heal themselves, things from the earth that God put here for healing. And they had a lot of we had a great time with that because we had a lot of little samples set up and information on pages about those. We had a beekeeper. One of our teachers keeps bees, and she brought a whole table full of equipment that she uses that pretty much looks like what they would have used back then. Frames that are used to collect the honey. And she had a couple of tools there. And then she had some product that she's made with her own beeswax. And she had a sample of honey there. And that was really interesting to see. We had a basket weaving set up demo from one of our teachers who used to be here. She doesn't teach with us any longer, but Miss Bobby Patterson came and set up with baskets that she'd woven and baskets that she also just had and that had been woven in that time, in that artisanship. She set up with baskets that were woven the way they would have a long time ago. And she had a sample that people could pick up and use to create their own small weaving. We had a knife throwing demonstration outside. Mr. Jesse, who teaches guitar with us, also loves to throw knives and has a whole frame set up, and he got to go out there and show people how to do that. We had a couple of dads in our community that we just found, and we actually interviewed Kirk McLean as well on the podcast recently. They came and did sword fighting demonstrations. Actually, he had two people with him, and they took turns sword fighting each other, but also letting students try out versions of that, which was just a huge hit outside with lots of people. And we had Caitlin Dunn of Dunn Spun, which is a local fiber studio. She came in and had drop spindles, and people could spin their own yarn from raw sheep's wool that she had with her. We had a huge table full of books that are all about the Middle Ages or were written in the Middle Ages for people just to learn about how they could even learn more. It was a really fun day. We had a lot of just great demos and great information. It was kind of an immersive experience, like I mentioned. we had a big piece of the Bayeux Tapestry. And if you don't know what that is, go and look that up. It's Bayeux. It's a tapestry that dates back to the end of the 1000s. And we found someone online who sells chunks of it in reproduction. And we had those hanging on our wall in our great room. So we had lots of things for people to go look at and experience and learn about and read about. And it was a really fun day. God gave us great weather. So we had a super gorgeous day outside. Lots of our students and families chose to dress up and come in costume. And that really added a lot to the atmosphere of the day and the flavor of the day. We had one of our older students who's a guitarist walked around basically and was our resident minstrel. And he walked through and just picked his guitar and talked to people and played music for a large chunk of the afternoon. So we had lots of great ambiance in that way, lots of atmosphere. It was very sweet that so many people got really behind this idea and jumped in and just made it what it ended up being, just a really immersive day. So we hope you enjoy these clips from people who were there and had a good time. And we'll look forward to talking to you again next week. So I'm here with Rebecca. What's been your favorite thing to do at the Medieval Festival today?
Watch the fencing.
Watching the fencing better than the maypole.
Well, that too.
I knew you enjoyed the maypole. So Sophia and Ruby and Finn, tell me what your favorite thing you've seen to do today. What was your favorite thing?
Sword fighting.
And Cecil. The maypole? What was yours? And what was your other one?
Sword fighting.
The sword fighting? What about you, Cecil?
Mine was the yarn spinning.
The yarn spinning. That was pretty awesome. And I bet Finn might pick throwing because I've seen him throwing quite a bit. Tell me 2 things you've learned today fencing with somebody who really does this that you didn't know before.
There's a triangle and there's deception. Like
so
he said.
Tell me what those are.
Deception, you don't want them to know what you're doing, or you want to make them think that you know what they're doing, but they really don't, if I said that right.
Okay. And what's the other one?
You gotta...
Triangle.
This is triangle thingy. Iron triangle. And you gotta... I think it's like, don't move the point as much as you can move your handle, in a sense.
Keep the guard close.
Yeah. Tight movements.
You didn't know that before?
I did not know that before.
Well, that's very cool. You had a good time at her sword fighting?
I've had an awesome time for sword fighting.
After your minstreling?
Oh, yeah. He goes, hey, put some metal on this guy. I want to fight him. I'm like, okay.
So, Haven, tell me a couple of things that you enjoyed seeing at the Medieval Festival today.
My friends in all of their costumes.
All the costumes? Because it was really fun that all of y'all decided to dress up.
Yes.
It made it feel very authentic to walk out here and have all these people dressed up. Mm-hmm. That was fun. What about activity stuff?
The dancing was fun.
Dancing was fun. Yeah, the maypole's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. And this wasn't an assigned activity, but running around and playing tag with all the kids was very fun.
That was an organic thing that happened. Mm-hmm. That was also a lot of fun. It was a gorgeous day. Mm-hmm. So it was nice to be outside.
Yes.
Yeah. So Ruby, tell me what some of your favorite things today were.
Maypole and sword fighting.
Sword fighting. Hey, Isaac, what do you think your favorite things were?
Sword fighting.
Just the sword fighting?
Yeah.
Yep. How many times did you do the sword fighting?
About a lot.
About like 10? I saw you up there quite 20. A bit. 20. Wow.
About 20.
That was a pretty fun afternoon. So I'm here with 2 of our young friends who came to our Medieval Festival. Tell me what your favorite things were.
I liked the maypole dancing.
You got to do that a couple times? Mm-hmm. Anything else stand out?
I really liked spinning the yarn.
Oh, yeah, that was beautiful.
I liked the maypole dance and the spinning yarn and the sword fight.
The sword fight was pretty awesome, wasn't it? Thank you so much for joining us today. To support this podcast, please go follow us on your podcast platform of choice. And if you're interested in knowing more about the work of Peachtree, please go visit our website at peachtreelearningcenter.com for more information.